Welcome back, everyone, to another episode of Practical Spiritual Advice by Infinite You, which is me, which is you, which is we. And again, let's buckle up with a 5-point harness for another ride as we take a trip to Rekinection Festival last year. This was an experience that I had manifested. And I know I touched on this on previous episodes. I can't remember which number it is, but if you're new to this podcast, it would be a great idea to start from the beginning. And on the first episode, you're going to have to turn the volume up because it is a little janky. It's a little low, and we got it fixed after that. So go ahead and dive in. And the first 7-8 episodes are going to be a very nice telling of a story, getting you caught up to what we're doing now and where we're going and this whole ascension thing. And there's a lot of people walking around confused. There's a lot of information coming in from all over the place, and so I'm here to just make it a little. I'm trying to put things together in a sequence for you by reliving my own experiences and telling these stories. And through this storytelling process, I find loops that can be closed and come full circle, and experiences that make more sense from a higher self perspective, aka my future self, looking back at things into my memories. And so let's take a ride to Rekinection Festival. How did I manifest this event that had artists like LS Dream, Spangle, Balkan Bump, I think Indubious was there, Flintwick. There was just a host of amazing acts and artists and performers. Teresa, Brittany Page, Admiral, and Carl. And just, there were so many people that with this experience that it was just an amazing time for me. So let's get back to how I manifested it. All right. So I was at this time looking into future, like a festival tour last year during fall. And that was like Sology Fest. It was Medicine for the People, Solar Punk Summit, Astronauts. I wanted to go to Burning Man. There was another one, Wakan Festival, and Prometheus Gathering, and Shangri-La, and just all these events. I wanted to go on this tour. And so Rekinection was on the list, and it was a big hit on the list because it was along the edge of the 2024 solar eclipse totality. And so I was like, man, that would be really great to go there. And so I show up to Medicine for the People, and I see my dear soul sister, Dawn Prokop, and with her business. She has a business called Fed, and she has, utensils that are like amazing, and stainless steel. Like, she has this whole thing where we minimize waste at events, and she washes dishes and stuff, and you have this stainless steel bowl and utensils, really dope spork. And, it's a thing that she was putting into action and manifested herself into Rekinection Festival. So when I met her, I don't know who brought it up first. I think she did. She was like, hey, I'm planning on going to Rekinection Festival, and I'm bringing my thing, and, I have a team with me. And I'm like, I want to go there. That's on my list. Is your team complete? And she's like, no. Would you be willing to go? And I'm like, yeah, I would love to go. Let me talk to Amber, but I think this is going to happen. And she was like, I would love to have you because I'm a fellow vendor, so I know how to set up and break down and what things look like, and positioning and location and logistics and the whole 9 yards. I look at all that stuff. And so I knew I was going to be a great asset to the team. And it was, let's see. So myself, Dawn, Vision Battle Sword. Rashima made it on the team, and Rainbow Bird. And then we met, oh my goodness, Allison. And I think that's everyone. I feel like I'm forgetting someone. But anyway, if I'm forgetting you, I apologize, but I don't think I'm forgetting anyone at this time. Yeah, I think that feels correct. Anyway, sorry, sticking on that point, but just don't want to not include anyone. I do that sometimes where I'm like, oh shit, so you were there the whole time. Anyway, so she was scheduled to be able to set up her spot outside and like where the vendors are and buy the food and, you know, either sell these bowls or have a service where they can rent the bowls and we would wash them and, or they could buy them or whatever. And we were just trying to figure it out. And this was like such a rough draft of things. And she's really come into her own, you know, if we fast forward to now, because that was last year, summertime. And so I'm on a team and we're scheduled to go up there, and the main thing that she's doing is providing the service for backstage, for the performers, the stagehands, the production crew, the artist, and they have food being cooked for them for 3 times a day, and we're gonna wash all of those tippins, which are like I don't know, you can close them up and keep the food warm in there, and they're stainless steel, and we wash them and they're reusable, and so we did that, and we had a composting buckets, and so we went there to be of service, and you know, so we're trying to sell the service out when we're going to play outside, you know, out in the main stage area, and I mean, it's just a beautiful property, 223 acres, I think, and I mean, it's just a magical place. And as soon as we get in, self-service drops. So I know from things that I've done in the past where this goes to my my soul brother, Rion de Rowan, Team Light. He said in one of his YouTube videos that when you don't have cell phone service, that they can't disrupt your connection to your higher self, or whatever you want to call it, to the things outside of yourself that, well, not outside, but inside. Just like, so what's happening when you have these incoherencies or counterwaves from your cell phones and your Wi-Fi and the towers and all that stuff, what they're doing is sending out an incoherent wave. It works good for electronics, not all the time, right? And it's really not the right frequency for a human being. And we like to be more this really harmonic flow that can move like a river and water and stuff like that. And those are very direct signals that are pinpointing things and very sharp edges to them, and it disrupts our flow. And so when you don't have those counterwaves, via not having a cell phone service, and you're like, oh, okay, I can't get anything out here. So you don't have the counterwaves, and you are able to hold and maintain your heart coherence much easier. And that, some people get frustrated when they don't have cell phone service, and you got to roll with it. And there were spotty places, and luckily for us, we were backstage, and we had access to like the flushing toilets and a whole thing that was more for VIP. Like we had all access. It was like super dope. We had better than VIP. Like it was, and I didn't have to pay to get in, and we were there for the whole time, and like it was so magical how it manifested. But so just, to give you an example of showing up to this place where you got thousands of people that are showing up and there's no cell phone service, and we're just there to have a good time, and everybody's there to play and be like a child and bring out their fancy toys like flow toys, LED fire, and all the hula hoops and everything, and dress however they want to dress, and nobody's judging them. I mean, just imagine what that feels like. And for some, it may be weird or something like that. But, for me, I'm like, oh goodness, I can just like free flow it. And it was really a free flowing state. And I was there to be of service to Dawn first and foremost, but also always to honor myself and this mission of connecting with others, and in ways of not just telling my story, but also listening to stories. And that's why this event, this experience was so magnificent, and it was on a magnitude that I had not experienced before. And I was going through things with Amber, my partner, while she's at home holding it down with the children and everything. I did something without informing her, and I'll go ahead and tell you exactly what that is. And it was super innocent, and I didn't think anything wrong of it. And, being on the other end, yeah, okay, I could have gone about it a different way and informed her. But anyway, so what happened is we had a long drive, and I drove most of the way. And the room that we stopped to lay our heads to sleep for a little bit and wake up and get back on the road, there was a couch, sofa bed. And I felt it had a bar. I know the bars. That shit sucks. And I didn't want to sleep on the bar, so I let Rainbow Bird sleep on there. Sorry, Rainbow Bird. But I was like, yo, I'm going to sleep on top of the covers, and you sleep under them. Rashima, there's room for us. And I don't even remember, but there was a point in time where I was like, retired, and hopefully you just crash out and don't even move. And she's like, yeah, actually, that's what I do. I'm so tired when I don't even move. That's like how I sleep. I don't move. And I was like, all right, perfect. You're not going to move. I'm not going to move. You stay under the covers. I stay above, and, let's crash out. I want a bed. And we did. Woke up. Amber asked the next morning, where did I sleep? I told her. She was pissed. We argued the rest of the time. Spotty signal as soon as we get there. So now we can't communicate this argument that I don't want to have anyway. And it was just like, words like, I don't trust you, and I don't trust her, and I don't know her, and I don't know, just like things that was like, what the, like, dude, give me a break, man. I drove, I wanted sleep. I didn't want to sleep on a freaking bar. And so there were, that's what I was dealing with heading into this space. And I mean, I was dealing with that, and literally like, I'm done. You don't trust me? Then why are we even together? At this point, I'm at this festival by myself. I don't have a partner. We're co-parenting. Fuck you, I'm out. Right? And that was like the energy of me at the festival. And she kept trying to argue and talk about it with this spotty signal. Even when I had signal, it was like jumping in and out. She's wanting to have a video call and all this stuff. And I'm like, dude, it's just not working. And you wanting to have me talk to the girls to like, hey, daddy's good, blah, 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 I'm having fun. And they're hearing her argue with me and say things, and I'm saying things back, but they can't hear me and I can't hear her. And it's just, I was like, dude, I don't want to argue. I don't want to go over this. I'm here alone. We'll talk when I get out and get signal. And, but we're still trying to like, hey, the girls want to say hi. They miss you. And, so I'm dealing with that, but also going into spaces where I know I don't have a cell phone signal to interrupt me, get a phone call, have to talk to her while I'm meeting new people. And, so I sat in this space, and I honored myself and allowed myself to be free that weekend, and not be attached to what anybody thought of what I was doing. I mean, I was there on a secret mission to talk about the solar eclipse X and what it means for us, and why we should all gather in San Antonio, the tone, the 7th largest city in the nation, the 7th tone. Bring your hearts there, your 4th chakra to the 7th tone. It's a whole thing to deposit your 4th chakra into your 7th place and create yourself as a bigger being. And that takes us coming together to see each other. And so this has been the story for quite some time with the solar eclipse X. It's all been guiding me to see myself and find more of myself, and showing and expressing those ways of doing that. And I thank y'all for anybody that listens and pays me in the form of attention, because listening to this podcast is free and there's no charge here, right? Just listen and honor my stories. And I want to hear everyone's stories in due time, right? You're close to me. I'll listen to your story. I honor everyone around me. I can't listen to everybody's story all the time. We'll get there. I want everyone to be able to express themselves, and I'm creating this platform, and along with all the other stuff that I have going on, that's refining itself and defining itself into what it wants to be and what works the best for everyone, so everyone can tell their stories on a very large platform. And these cosmic alignments allow us a way to do that. And so I'm not doing this for me, I'm doing this for we. And so anyway, I went there to talk about this, pulling up the map from my phone and, telling these stories of how I found Utopia and Miracle Springs and the Galactic Calendar and how everything. And, mind you, I hadn't even gotten to like the headwaters of the San Antonio River at this point. Getting them to know what I know now, be like, oh my gosh. So anyway, I'm going back to Rekinection Festival with my goddess, with Amber this year. And we're going to have a blast. And so I'll get to that in a minute here. But this storytelling, I wouldn't say interrupted, but like, hey, can I tell you something? Well, yeah, interrupted, but it was to tell me their story and how what I'm expressing them and showing them and telling my story and showing the map and everything, how they manifested to be there to hear the story, to hear this solar eclipse X and what it means. And it was like magical story left and right, and just about everybody that I talked to had some kind of connection to this or that, or really, like there was no Okay. Sorry. This gets so big, when you can find yourself in your way of putting yourself into an ascension story and honoring yourself, and not, everybody runs different programs, and this is just mine, and I got to honor it. I'm a manifesting generator in human design, and I love to tell my stories, and I've got a lot of them. And I'm very good at telling them if I don't bounce around too much. Projectors don't like it so much. Manifesting generators like, oh my God, I'm there with you. Others ride along with the wave, but it's such an amazing thing to be inspired by myself. And so that's what I was doing. And people were like, there was this, I don't remember everyone's names. And if I see you again, I met so many people. And once you light me up with like, remember this, and then I'm going to be like, yes, give me a hug. Now it's, so that'll be the inner chi about the reconnection of reconnection. That's, sorry. Whew. So I went there to make the connection. And I'm going back this year to make the reconnection. And so some of the stories that I heard were one of a person, a mother, that her daughter was supposed to be there to help in the back, like, production team. I can't remember exactly what part she was going to be doing, but she was volunteer or something. And she wasn't able to make it. So her mother, first time ever, I think she was like divorced or went through some kind of shift and was just getting into all this. And, now she's taking the place of her daughter, and she felt this energy getting into the space, the land that she lost a cell phone signal and was like, I'm just gonna be in it, and she was crying. And sorry, y'all, you got to ride with me on this, because these are beautiful, beautiful stories. And so she gets there to the front gate, and the person that greets her already knows that it's the like this tribe member's mother. Like, because they're all community there. They're all community there, and it's so thick and palpable. I felt it from all of them. It was like, them and them and them and them, and everybody like knew each other and seen each other, and it was so large. There were so many people there that were in this energy of, damn, this is a lot of being connected. And mind you, today is a galactic activation portal day again. So the energy is going to be very, very thick. And no matter what time you listen to this, you'll be able to tap into this, because this is what the galactic calendar is about. And it's being able to tap into this quantum space where you can dive within each other's experiences and heart spaces and get the full download, right? In this digital space. Ooh, it's big. And you're big. I like vibrating over here, folks. Anyway, ride with this on me. And so, we're hugging it out. We're crying in the backstage of Rekinection Festival, connected to the artists and the producers and the stagehands and the lighting and the volunteers and the performers and just everything. Everybody in their space, like no cell phone signal, like fuck the bills. I'm here to do my thing. Whew. And as soon as she got to the gate, she was seen. And if you haven't gotten your tickets, you better get them. And if you want to show up and be seen at the gates, show up to any of it that I put on. Ooh, fuck. I'm not going to pause this. You're just going to have to roll with me on this, all right? On the other end of this, tears are coming down, and my heart is like palpitating. It's like vibrating right now. It's a frequency zone. It's a vortex. So that's the first story, one of many, and another. And we had a great time, and I'm sure she'll be at this next reconnection, and I'm sure she'll see me because I'm going to be adorned in my garb this time. Amber and I just ordered some real fancy clothes that'll be here to go with us to Reconnection, and you'll find me wearing a dope ass hemp hooded. It's gonna be dope. So anyway, hoo-dee-doo. All right, so that's one story. So another is another girl that I don't remember her name, but I was walking around by myself and I wanted to pick a spot to sit down, and I felt pulled towards this bench, and there was a group of people in conversation that I was like, hey, can I sit here? And they're like, yeah, just watch out, it's wet. So wipe off the water and sit down, and then it's like, hey, what's up? Who are you here with? I'm like, I'm here by myself and blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, and I'm actually here to tell a story. Would you like to hear? And it's like, sure. And she turns, and as I'm telling her this stuff, another person is listening, and they're jumping in and out of hearing the tales of the solar eclipse and what it means. And she stops me to tell me her manifestation on how she got there. And apologize right now if I'm going to start crying again. I'm going to try to push through it with breath. Whew. And so as she pauses my story, she said that she won her ticket there, and she didn't realize that she had won. And this is like her story is, a friend of hers loaned her money to, I think, pay for a car not to get repossessed. And so she did that and paid for a car not to be repossessed, and came into some money, and she had a choice of paying back her friend then, or buying her ticket to Rekinection. And she chose to pay her friend back. And then she saw on I think the Facebook or the community page on Facebook, that they were giving away tickets, and she put her name in, and she won the tickets and didn't even check, didn't realize that she had won. For I don't know how much time went by, and a week or two before, I think it was 2 weeks before the event, she finds out she wins, and she's like, holy shit, I hope they still have my ticket. Now the girl that she talked to that was like in charge of holding onto the tickets was like, I felt you had to be here. No, I was going to hold them till the day of. And the tickets were there for her to get, and she came in and heard the story of the solar eclipse X. And it validated why the other person felt the call to hold on to the tickets. And it's like, wow. And we hug it out. It's like we were crying, and she's like, hold on, there's my friend Stella and, what's his name? Pete, what's his name? I forget his name, but he goes, Pete, P-E-T-E, Za, last name Za, right? And whatever he's changed, it's pizza. So I got him on TikTok and I think Facebook. He's a fire performer, spinner, so is she. And Stella and Pizza come up, and I give them a little bit of download until they get drawn off into another conversation. And I've continued the conversation now that we've made friends on Facebook, and with more detail, and have shown them this stuff. And I think I've even asked him, one of them or something, to like hold space for an activation we did somewhere else or something. So, excuse me. So we're all like linking up in these ways of being able to honor each other's stories, and then seeing each other. And I watched them both, everyone that I've connected with, that I remembered. I follow them or see them on social media, and it's a beautiful thing to watch, and, relationships and, the whole nine yards. And, and then I met Logie Bear and Gladys Lee, and, holy shit, they were a ball of energy. Oh my goodness. They were something. And, so I think I met Logie Bear first. Yes. Okay. I remember what it was. I went up to the Stargazer area to check out the Tribal Roots, sound system and that stage. And then I was like spinning my staff until the batteries kind of ran out. I have a NeoPixel Saber. So it's got a ball on one end that changes colors and does some little fancy things. And then I have this staff, this other end that's like a sword that is just lights, and it's pixels. And when I spin it, it does patterns and stuff. And so I'm spinning this, and everywhere I'm going, spinning this, people are like, what the fuck? Like in the background, I got a video. I'm spinning it by the Rekinection sign that's on the side of the hill leading up to Stargazer camp out, or wherever it is, that Stargazer stage or something, Tribal Roots area. And I was spinning, and they didn't realize at first. In the background, you can hear, what the fuck? That's a saber. And I'm like, yeah, it's a fucking saber. I got it a week before Rekinection. And, it was a thing that I got that I was like, I got to get this thing. And it's going to draw people in. This is a magnet. They haven't seen this before. And that's the truth, man. I showed up and spun my NeoPixel Saber, and people were like drawn like moths to the flame. They're like, yo, I've never seen that. What the fuck is it? And so I'm there like making new friends and like talking to people that, I'm like, yeah, this. And then here's the Solar Eclipse X. This is why I'm here. And this is why I brought this, so I can draw you here. Do you get this? And they're like, dude, I fucking get it. I love you. Can I tell you my story and who I am? And I'm like friends with them now. And one lady, I forget her name, Trey, tell her something with a T or an S. I think it's at the T. But she bought herself, I think she should have by now. She shows up. We're both going to be spinning our sabers. It's going to be amazing. And I'm so excited to go this time. So, Logie Bear and Gladys were a complete energy of themselves, and they introduced me to more people that I'm now like connecting with, and that, you know, saw me in the story, and not just me, but like, you know, I went and told the story of myself that some people that are in my city don't get it. And it's this freaking, you know, I don't know about this stuff until I live it. And then I find out later and I'm like, oh my goodness, this is like biblical. There's stories about Jesus not being able to do the miracles and things that he did in his own place that he grew up. Like, they didn't see him. They knew him too much. Like, nah, you're just a little runt. The guy that we knew that went and did all this stupid stuff and was learning, now you can't do that. And, you know, he went out and like people that didn't know him just saw him for what he showed up as. And they, you know, he brought them, they all listened to him and saw him, and he saw them, and he was probably just telling us stories and, you know, his adventures and journeys and synchronicities. And, you know, he was a walking synchronometer, and that's what Source is. It's like looking into how you connect with the divine. And the divine is in all of us. And when you can get rid of the stories, like the stories of incoherency, like the stories of I got to pay my bills, or what was that movie that scared me, and this show and this other person and that other thing, and it's not like your story of where you know, had a heart to heart with someone and it changed them for the better, and or you're going through something, you know, hey, the downside stories are okay, but you know, you got to give them in little doses, because you've got people walking around that are living in magic, and you don't want to be the anchor to them. Now, there's some people that are built for giving off the proper energetic rebound of that. Like, I don't. So I'm going to hit you with some information, and I'm not going to say what I think it is other than what I know it is. All right. So there's a pattern that I picked up the other day when I was going into the galactic calendar, and I was looking forward in the galactic calendar. I put forward in quotations, FYI. I was looking into this thing that I'm looking at in the here and now in front of my face that's talking to me. And it looks like a galactic calendar that talks about time. And it's a multidimensional expression of time. And when you dive into it, you can start decoding things, I believe, and this is what I've done. And so what I did on that night of keeping Amber up while she's trying to go to sleep, I'm like, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. And then I keep looking, and I'm like, okay, I got to stop, or you're going to be up till 4 o'clock with me. So I looked into, and some of this may not make sense until you kind of get adept into this galactic calendar, and maybe this will help you if you can take what I'm giving and then you go look. I don't know how this is going to work for you, but hey, whatever you run the program and the software that we're harmonically interchanging or exchanging data right now, where you are right now. So just however it comes in, just allow it to flow. It may not make sense at the time that you're hearing this, but it will make sense. I guarantee it. It'll make perfect sense when it all comes full circle in the way that it needs to for you. Okay. So the first date that I look forward into was the Ring of Fire eclipse. And when you look at a date in the galactic calendar, this is how you discover your galactic signature. Because there's cycles within cycles within cycles. So there's like a 20 cycle, there's a 10 and a 20 and a 13 and a 7 and a 52 and a 260 and a 364. And like there's all these cycles within cycles, and there's much larger ones than that. But what you see is that as these rings of cycles go over, if you look into the Mayan calendar, the Tolkien, I think, then you'll see what I'm talking about. They're rings of experience, or rings of data points, if you will. And so as these rings of data points intersect and create patterns within, they're interconnecting with each other, it creates signatures that open doorways, like signature. The doorway has a signature. It has an energy signature about it that does a specific thing that if you align with it, your probabilities of working within this, in quotation marks, time matrix, then your chances of accomplishing set goal or intention, heart coherence with your higher self who's connected cosmically outside of any time frame matrix, then you can find some patterns, right? So anyway, as I look forward into 10/14/23, that date, and I don't remember, it's like, I don't know, White World Bridge or something like that. So we've got tones that are part of one of these energy signatures that have a specific template. So there's 1 through 13 tones, and I'm not going to go through every tone, but I believe the first one is magnetic, and that would be the energy of drawing to you, creating a new thing. So that's 1. And then the 7th is a resonant tone. And then 13 is cosmic. And so I'm a cosmic tone. I was born on a tone that's cosmic. I'm born on the 13th tone. I'm here to assist bring in the number 13. And then we'll go to the next level, 1 again, right? So 13, next step is 1 again as it goes through that cycle. So just roll with me on that. We've got 1 through 13 cycles, and I'm telling you which one is 1, 7, and 13. So when you look into that date, you have a tone and you have a glyph, a tribe, and that's one of 20. I don't remember exactly what tribe is on that day of the eclipse. What we're looking and talking about today is tones, right? So tones, and I'll throw in a glyph there because it'll make sense when I talk about it. So the tone, when you scroll over, like for instance mine, and I don't remember exactly, but when you scroll over and look at the oracle of that day, you have the tone and you have the tribe. The tribe is going to have a tone and a tribe on its right, on its left, below and above, and they each signify a specific energy signature. One would be a complementary energy signature, and so that being that holds that tone and that tribe that you find in your holographic matrix through the people that are around you, more or less, and you'll find out when you start looking into each other's tribes and glyphs and your signatures, who your complements, who your challenges, who your guides, and then who, I can't remember exactly what it's called, but it's like your relic or your artifact, or it's the person that takes you to the next level. That kind of opens you up like a lotus flower. And so when you find these people, just know what that energy, you'll know more or less what that energy signature is about and how you can approach it. So, and then sometimes they will have different tones. Like your tone, like mine is 13, and the ones around me, I can't remember exactly what they are. I need to look into it again, into my signature with the oracle that's associated with it. So we're rolling with that, right? You have a galactic day signature and tone, or the signature, which is the tone and the tribe. And then that has its complemented, its oracle. It's complementary, the things that make it what it is around, the things that are around it, up, down, left, right. So, a reminder, again, they're not always the same tone. And obviously they're not always the same tribe either. And there's some significance of that too, and I'll go into a later video, probably a video, a YouTube video or something like that, so I can show you. And so I'm just running you to rock with the tones more or less right now, more than less. So reminder, mine doesn't always have the same tone. So mine would be 13 and around would be like 7, and the bottom one would be like 1 or something like that. You know, the one above and to the right and left would be 7, I'd be 13, and one below would be 1 or whatever. So that's an example. So for the 10-14-23, where I'm inviting everyone to come to San Antonio, which I am calling the 7th tone, and I say it's where I found my resonant tone. I don't know why I said that, but now that I look into the oracle of that day, I don't remember the tribe, but the tone is 7. And for its oracle, everything around it is also tone 7. That doesn't happen often. As I investigate, I find out that does not happen often. I don't know how often it does happen, but I see that it's not all the time. So that is very cool to me, to have everyone coming to the 7th tone and it be a 7th tone day, and the oracle of it is all 7th tone. So if we fast forward to the totality eclipse on 4/8/24, that one is a tone, I said 1 or 13. It's 1. I believe it's a 1 tone, if I'm not mistaken. And so that one would be a beginning tone. And so it would be that magnetic tone that creates all the new things. So it takes us to that next level. And so, again, if I'm not mistaken, and you can look it up for yourself, there's an app that's free. You can find this information. It helps you kind of dive and convert dates from the Gregorian calendar, and you can look at your birth date. You can look at your, things that happened in your life, when you had your awakening, when you birthed someone, when you conceived, like all these different things. And it gets fun. That's when that calendar starts talking to you. And you start realizing like, oh, wow, we can conceive children on galactic activation portal dates, and people leave on galactic activation portal dates, as in they transition out of the physical suit, and at least that's what it looks like from our perspective. And so looking forward, that oracle of 4/8/24 is on the bottom. Like its artifact, its thing that takes it to the next level, is a tone 13. And in all the other tones, almost like an arrow, which being the one on the right, left, center, and above, are all tone 1. So it literally, when you look at it, it looks like we get to the tone 13, and then we go to this next level. And so that had me thinking, because there's a video that I watched on YouTube that popped up on my thing about 2 weeks after we had our Miracle Springs activation. That was on 5/25. It's like 4 days that we were out there. And so around June is when this YouTube video pops up, and this guy is talking about the Fibonacci spiral and the Christos spiral, and how they're both simultaneously playing themselves out in our world right now. And he put it like overlapping each other, and wow, it showed some shit. And so he said that he did some math and date and stuff like that, and tracked the because they both have the difference between the Fibonacci spiral and the Christos spiral is the Fibonacci starts at 1, and then it goes 1, 2, and then it goes add the 2 and the 1, that makes 3. That'll be your next little rectangle or whatever, as it makes this spiral dynamic. and it adds the two numbers to get to the next one, the last two to get to the, whatever. And so it increases exponentially, and you see that same pattern play out in a lot of nature, sunflowers, a lot of nature, right? Even in our own human body. And so there's this Christos spiral that's very similar, but it has a spiral dynamic that if you play it out in a long, expression, then the Fibonacci goes back down and into itself to be a finite system. And then the Christos spiral dynamic goes at a 45 degree and go up and out. And so that's very telling because of this shift that we're doing. It's almost like we're leaving one plane of existence and going into another, and that plays out in the tones. And so, one of the dates that he picked out, because the Fibonacci and the Christos spiral both have the number 144 in them. And he mapped it out on a Gregorian calendar and came up with either November 8th or 9th of 2023. And he didn't refer back to the solar eclipse, there was X or where, any of those dates. And, because they play out in a very cool way with a quantum resonant frequency that can be pushed out from our hearts when we come to San Antonio on the 7th tone, and let that, through that experience, when everybody leaves and goes back to their place, they're like telling the stories and, making people cry, and, because all the stories are linked up to each other and create like this more tangible web that connects us from our heart space through storytelling and through our own experiences, and not being a fake, I don't want to say a fake person, but like talking about stories that are not yours, like shows and programming and stuff, like, oh, let me talk about this program that I watched the other day and this other program that I watched and this other thing, and so we're telling our living stories. And so if that does its thing, it takes a little time for everyone to get out and tell their stories and show the videos and show them on YouTube and Facebook and TikTok and Snapchat and all the Instagram and everything, and start posting what we do here and what everyone does along the solar eclipse lineup, because it goes over the four corners. And this is a ring of fire eclipse, and it's literally a portal thing and stuff like that. So it creates a worldwide shift. And so I went ahead on the galactic calendar and looked up the two dates, November 8th and November 9th. And what I find is that November 9th is I think it's the 13th tone, or the 7th again. I think it's 13, if I'm not mistaken. And I can't remember exactly what the oracle of it is, but it's like from 7 to, I don't know, it shows itself in there. And this is where I'll talk about the tribe of that day. And the tribe of that day is yellow cosmic sun, or no, yellow, it's maybe a 7, I think it's a 7, like it's a 7th tone day. And it has the 13th tone in it somewhere, if I'm not mistaken. I gotta look at it again. But anyway, the shit was talking to me. I don't have a deed that was in front of me. This is where you're gonna have to do your own digging. Synchronario 1320 is the name of the app. I think I forgot to mention that. Synchronario 1320 is the name of the app. And so you download that, and you can go dive in and convert people's get everybody's galactic signature and look at their tones and tribes and where they fall in line with time and space with you. And so this is where, being a yellow resonant sun day, man, yellow sun, and it's resonant. It expresses this 7th tone. And so it felt like 11-9 was more the date than 11-8. 11-8 didn't fit. It didn't feel right. 11-9 was talking to me. And so as I look at 11-9, I'm reminded of mirror numbers because there's a lot that come about in 1221, the established date of Incarnate Word, University Incarnate Word, where the headwaters of the San Antonio River are, was established in 1881. And so as we look at mirror numbers, it reminded me of 11/9, reminded me of 9/11. And then I started thinking about what 9/11 energetically felt like for the collective, and it was a state of incoherency, dystopia, and not harmonic, and everybody was like, what the fuck's going on a collective level? Like there was a quantum computer that picked up the wave. And so as that wave went out, it's coming back. And it's coming back as it's a yin and yang thing. And so it comes back as harmonic coherency. Isn't that something? 9/11 comes back as 11/9. Now what that does for us remains to be seen, because I think everyone's going to have their own vision or perspective on that. That's also what being multidimensional is, dimensions are just looking at the same thing from different perspectives. And so multidimensional allows us to have another set of stories that take us to another level. And, I'm, destined to create a platform that props up other platforms and ways for us all to tell our stories in a larger way. And I got a guy. He's doing some really cool stuff with like 3D mapping and a way for us all to tell our stories, and also how we interconnect with each other. Like, for instance, if this is the first time you've paid attention to me, you might be able to tap into my story and then find yourself here on this specific date with all the listeners that were listening to this podcast on this date, whatever it is, right? There's just ways of tapping in. So, or you come to Setting the Tone, right? And the 10/6 to 10/15 Ring of Fire Spiritual Summit, Setting the Tone event in San Antonio. And we have a collective junction where millions of us met and told stories and saw each other. And, that creates like this energetic node in a digital platform, because we're talking to each other here in this digital platform right now. And so maybe we can create another wave that's more easier to digest in a lot of different ways. So, if you went to a specific concert or event and have pictures, or you wrote a book about it, or, you have videos, or whatever social media, whatever platforms there are, or you were selling your gifts there, your wares, your crystal wrapped stuff or whatever, your wire wrapped things. And there's a link to your website. Like, what if I can create a place where we can all link up that way through our experiences and tap into the music again and be like, man, I want to hear that set from this person again, and relive that time when I was dancing with my soul tribe in the tone, in the seventh tone, that is. And I brought my heart there and I danced to my inner child's delight. So this is what we're offering here with Rekinection, as Amber and I have manifested going back to Rekinection Festival this year. And I already have people that I connected with there that are reconnecting with me, with some of the artists like Aaron Hale and some of the production crew, Laura, and I've already connected with some of these people before and saw them and heard them and look at them, some of the stuff they're putting out now. And I'm like, yeah, my tribe, let's get it. And we're going to be doing a thing. If you can get your tickets to Rekinection, I would highly advise doing so. Floozies will be the main headliner with OPO and OPIO. I forget how I fucking say it. Anyway, sorry I'm mispronouncing it. But anyway, like, we're connecting with some more soul tribe that's going to have more destinations and places for us all to gather for the totality eclipse, which I'm planning my thing. You can go there, or we'll max out. We're going to max out. After what we do in the Tone with Setting the Tone event, Spiritual Gathering, Spiritual Summit, and Solar Punk Summit, and like everyone doing their thing, it's going to have a wave of people that are going to be like, yo, I'm coming to the next thing. That's totality. That's the one I was gearing up for. Sorry, I missed the other one. FOMO. I want to experience it. And whoa, you're doing this here, there, where? Oh, in my backyard, right around here, my local natural air, there's going to be a thing that pops off. And then you have like such a larger amount of people that are in on the inner child play in song and dance of this, expression of self and how we come together to, do this dance. It's going to create a whole other expression, and that 11/9 date will be way past that. And so that's why I'm thinking this totality, monumental, game changer, setting the tone. What is it called? Why do you think I named the event Setting the Tone? I don't expect it to be the end all. It's just setting the tone, baby. I invite everyone to come bring their heart to the tone, San Antonio, Texas. At any time from when you hear this, you find out how to come and get involved and give back to the community. We're probably going to be running this campaign after 420. We'll see when it takes full fruition, but the book is already being written. Don't have the title yet because things are morphing so fast that they're evolving to a degree that I'm like rolling with it, and I'm not mad at it. I am happy with the roll. And so please roll your ass to Setting the Tone Spiritual Summit. Anytime you get this main campaign and I have some exact details for what you do, let's put it that way. When I got some more details of where you can go, because I got people that are coming early and I'm like, I don't have a place for you to go. Are you self-sufficient? I can't get you a job. I'm not in the job. I'm not in the recruiting thing at this time. When the sponsorship and all the stuff comes through, everyone will know. Everyone will know. Everyone will know. Everyone will know. It won't be a secret. So just be ready to get in where you fit in. And when that time comes, the heralder is here. My name is Harold Aho now for a reason. I am bringing forth the good news. Don't worry about it. You're in it. It's not my news. It's your news. You asked for it. You got it. You're getting it in abundance. The ability to do what you need to do when you need to do it. That is abundance. We live in it. We are in it. Or we are it. You are it. Hooty-doo. Aren't we having fun? What a roller coaster. I told you put on that 5-point harness. And so spread the word. Comment on here. Come on now. I need some interaction. I'm a manifesting generator. I'm built to respond. So give me something to respond to that lights me up when I get the interaction. You'll really get me going and you'll keep me on this path with so much steam in my head. And we're already there. But just, you want to be a part of it, right? I mean, I thought that's what you asked for. I'm pretty sure you didn't listen to this to be sitting on the sidelines. I know you may be a little frustrated with thinking you don't have your gifts ready and available. I promise you, as soon as you come out with your tribe and they see you and you see them, your gifts will emerge like a lotus, blossoming, and it'll be such a sight to see. And you'll be able to see it from others' perspectives because people will be telling your story. Okay? So, with that, I want you to love always, in all ways. Peace.